Is this working? Okay. All right. So, hi everyone. This is Jerry from the future. I am on vacation for a few days in Calgary, Alberta. I'm about to leave to go to a used bookstore, and I filmed about 10 minutes of a chatty discussion video where I talk about some of my 2020 goals. And then it got cut off, and I didn't realize that. So you're gonna get some of it, but not all of it. So I'm gonna put that in right now, and I will share some vlog footage with you. One thing that I want to share with you is my trip to a craft brewery. I think it's called the Brewer's Apprentice, and I got some really great craft beer, which I've already started to dip into. You might notice that. And then I'm also going to go to Kensington Village, which is a place in Calgary where there is a bookstore called Pages, and I'm going to see if they have any used science fiction and fantasy books for my collection. So I hope that you enjoy my little snippet of my video. I talked about my reflections from my 2 years on Booktube and some of my plans going forward, some of the things that I've been thinking about going forward. And yes, I'd love to hear your comments and your thoughts, but I'm going to leave and get on the train and explore Calgary. See ya. Hey everyone, it's nice to see you back. My name is Jerry from ONYX Pages. It is February 8th, 2020, and it has been some time since I have sat down in front of a camera, in this case my iPhone, and just talked to you about where things are at with this channel. So in fact, I don't even know that I've ever done that before. So I wanted to just give you a sense of what's happening for me right now and what my plans are for 2020. I started Booktube in August of 2017. We were actually on our honeymoon, Tommy and I, when we were in a forest in British Columbia, just talking about being married, and I felt like, you know, things were new and exciting, and I wanted to do a whole bunch of new and exciting things in addition to being married to this wonderful woman. And I was like, I should start a channel called ONYX Pages. And so Tommy, being the awesome person that she is, was like, sure, let's spend some of our honeymoon time with you filming the Booktube newbie tag. It should be called the NewTube tag, actually. Yeah, so I was there and we were in the park, and I didn't know what this journey would be like. All I knew was that I had a selfie stick and a phone, and I wanted to use it to connect to people and talk about science fiction and fantasy written by Black folks under the Afrofuturism umbrella. And it has been an incredible experience. I'm not leaving Booktube. Like, I know this might sound like a little nostalgic, and it is, but it's just to tell you where I'm at. And so much has happened as a result of me being a part of this community. First and foremost, I've read so much stuff. I used to read when I was younger, but then during law school and after becoming a lawyer, a lot of my intellectual space, a lot of my reading space was dedicated to that work. So I wasn't reading for pleasure. I do find case law pleasurable, but I wasn't reading fiction for pleasure anymore. And I thought that a Booktube channel would keep me accountable. And it has. It has exposed me to amazing stories. It's exposed me to amazing writers and artists and musicians and content creators and book reviewers. I myself have been challenged to do better as a reader, to read with purpose, to review honestly, and to push people to be, in particular Black queer folks, to become content creators, because I think that the work that Black queer folks do, those who dedicate their lives or a part of their lives to putting their imagination on paper and giving it to us. I think it's beautiful work, it's sacred work, and I think it deserves our money if we've got it to spend, and it deserves our time, and it deserves our attention. And Booktube has helped me create a platform where I can talk about that, and I acknowledge that it has allowed me to take steps toward becoming a thought leader in the Afrofuturist community. Baby steps. So it's just been amazing. And so after I did the Kwanzaa Reflectathon in 2019, and I do have to announce the winners, I took a very, very, very long pause. I didn't intend to, because I was just doing my normal New Year's resolutions, reflecting on a year, but the end of a decade took me by surprise, and I realized that I really needed to sit down and think about why I'm here on this platform and why I'm doing the things that I do. And that reflection got me thinking about what I'd like to see this channel offer to the Booktube community and the wider community. And here's what I've come up with. I definitely want to read books. I specifically want to read books written by Black queer people that are within the speculative, science fiction, fantasy, magical realism realms. Those stories are the stories that excite me the most. I also want to lift up, in particular, writers who are independently publishing their work, or who are publishing work that the mainstream publishing community seems to be allergic to. Those works of art are changing our conversations. They're changing the ways that we think about writing and the ways that we think about each other. And I think that right now, with all the things going on in the world, we need to support writers who are challenging the norm. We need to help them write full-time to make enough money from their books that they can marshal their imagination and write these books full-time. And to do that, we need to buy their books. We need to talk about their books. We need to buy their books. We need to support their books. So I want to get better at reviewing books. I want to review more books. I want to read more books. And I understand that being a niche reader means that I'm not going to be as broadly read as folks on Booktube, but I trust that the depth of my reading will add value to this community, and I know that it already has. I've seen content creators on YouTube who are starting to read and sharing their reading more often than their regular content. I've seen booktubers identify Afrofuturism and Black science fiction and fantasy as their priority in the past couple of years, and I'm glad that I have been a part of that shift in the community. So I'm proud of that, and I want more of us to be talking about this work. I also want to develop stronger relationships with booktubers in the Booktube community. There are definitely people who I connect with over WhatsApp, love y'all, over Twitter, and now Instagram. I didn't grow up around social media, so I'm sort of new learning how it all works, and I'm also sometimes hella inconsistent in my communications, so I'm enjoying the relationships that I built, and I just want to be more consistent around those personal relationships, because I have to thank Booktube. Booktube has opened the door to some incredible relationships, and I'm so grateful that I now have in my daily life people who I admire, people who are go-getters, people who inspire me to do more with this platform and do more with my own life. And it's incredible. What else do I love about Booktube and what do I want to do? These aren't really 2020 goals, but just thoughts that I've had. One thought that I've had over the past month is the fact that I am a book collector. I own that. I am a collector of books. There have been a lot of conversations on Booktube about consumerism and buying books versus going to the library and amassing large quantities of books and maybe not reading those books at the rate that we're buying those books. And Tommy and I have talked about my little book buying situation, my little budget situation. And I own it. I collect books. I collect books written by Black folks. I buy them. I buy multiple copies. I give some copies away when I can. But I enjoy going to used bookstores and asking them if they have any Nello Hopkinson or Octavia Butler or Nnedi Okorafor or N.K. Jemisin or Nisi Shaw or Andrea Hairston or Jennifer Marie Brissett or Yatasha Womack or Walida Imarisha or Adrienne Marie Brown or Alexis Pauline Gums or Tanana Reeve Dew or Steve Barnes or Samuel R. Delaney. Like, I love going into bookstores and asking them, do you have these things? And then buying them if I can, and then shipping them off to people or sharing them with friends who tell me that they're interested in reading this work. I feel that if I have the means to purchase, which I sometimes do and I presently do, and I can share that work with people, then that means more people get their hands on these books. And I get the pleasure of sharing amazing work so that these authors can make money and write more. So the dog is so cute.